everyone, welcome back to my channel. Why am I blushing at a man who would definitely kill me? I'm getting the chills. I'm scared. What? This week we're going to be seeing how many pages I can read in a week, realistic version and also fall version. Fall vibes, fall books, stuff like that. And we're just gonna see how many pages I like realistically can read in a week where I have school, work, also like just extra things, like hang out with my family and stuff. Very interested to see because honestly I don't even know. I made one of these videos last year and that one exceeded all expectations because I read way more pages than I even thought like was possible. I don't think that's going to happen this week, also because I have a different job than I had last time. My last job I could read while I was at work. With this job I can't. That changes things. But the first book that I'm currently reading that we're going to be finishing in this video is, are you ready? Alchemized by Senlin Yu. I actually don't really know how to say the name, but I just went and picked up this book today. I actually like click and collected it yesterday to pick it up today because I went to the bookstore 2 days ago and it was sold out, and it's been like sold out everywhere. And I actually originally wanted the paperback with the sprayed edges and stuff, but they don't have it. Like, it is available in like 3 different stores across the country and not anywhere close to me, so that wasn't gonna happen. If I wanted to order it online, it would take like 2 to 5 weeks because it says missing, which means they don't actually have the book, but you can buy it and then it hopefully arrives. I bought a hardback, which I never do. Like, I never buy hardbacks ever, but I think this book is just so pretty, and also because of the fact that it's so big, because this book is 1,000 pages, that it was okay to have a hardback because then I won't crack the spine. And right now I just have my little sword in here as my bookmark because I am this far into the book. So I think I'm about 45%, but let me just look at the page. I am on 466, but this morning I started on 421, so that's like the page number we will be starting off the count for today of how many pages. We obviously still have about 550 pages left of this book to read together. I'm very scared because everyone I see, they like cry at the end and like further in. If you don't know what this book is, it is basically on every freaking social media platform ever. It's a rewriting of the fan fiction called Manacled, which is a Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger fan fiction set in a post-World War in like the 18th century, I believe. So this one has nothing to do with Harry Potter because she obviously rewrote it to be its own world with its own characters. So we follow our main character, Helena Marino, I think was her name. And she wakes up in this post-World War having no clue how she got where she is. Like, her memory has kind of been wiped, not entirely, but like the end of the war has all been wiped from her mind, and they're trying to get it back. These people who like found her because she's kind of in captivity, if that makes sense. And I never read Manacled and I was a little bit scared because this is a dark fantasy, like a small plot of romance at the side, and I usually read like romantasy and I've never read like dark fantasy before. The closest to dark is probably Zodiac Academy, and that's more like that it was a dark romance in some aspects, not really a dark fantasy. But this one is definitely dark, and there are times where I'm like horrified because it's so like gory, but I'm still like really loving it. I started this on Monday. I'm almost halfway on day 4, so that's how much I'm really liking this. And it was a little bit hard to read at first because there are so many words and they're not really explained, and then especially when English is not your first language, I'm like, what is happening here? I don't understand. I had to Google some words to be like, what is this exactly? There will be no spoilers, don't even worry. Like, don't even worry. There will be literally no spoilers for this book at all. You're just gonna be seeing my reactions without any context. I hope you will watch along while I read for this week. So yeah, happy fall. Finally. Why am I blushing at a man who would definitely kill me? I'm officially halfway, by the way. Hello you guys, it is the next day, so I just wanted to update about like how many pages I ended up reading yesterday. So let's just look. I started on page 421 and I ended up at page 546, which in total was 125 pages. So nothing like crazy or anything, but I also had a busy day yesterday. It makes sense, but 125 is still pretty good. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. And now obviously, as you saw, I just was reading a little bit now, but I actually don't have a lot of time because I'm getting on a train here in an hour. From today until Sunday, I'm going to this like vacation home kind of that we've rented, me and my family, for the weekend. So I'm gonna be there with my parents, my sister, her boyfriend, and their 2 kids. I'm very excited for that. And tomorrow we're going to like the zoo, and it's gonna be a really cozy like fall weekend, honestly. And I hope to still read some while I'm there, obviously. So I'm going to bring my book, which is going to take up so much space and have so much weight in my backpack, but it's fine. And my camera and everything so that I can film. Probably mostly be like reading like in the morning or in the evening or something like that, but sometimes we still have like quiet time, and maybe I'll read some in the car and the train, all of those things. But obviously I will keep you guys updated as I continue to read the book. I am now over halfway, and I was talking to my friend last night, like she asked me what my rating is, and I think like right now it's like a 4-star, but it has potential for a 5-star, you know? Like I'm not dismissive of it being a 5-star, but for it to be a 5-star, I feel like I have to like start like feeling big emotions. And obviously we're only halfway, so there's still so much more to go and so much more like traumatic things to happen. Because right now we're kind of like in the past to see what happened to like lead up to everything. So I think like by the end I'm gonna cry. Maybe, I don't know, but I feel like that's what's gonna really do it to me. If it's a 5-star, it's because I'm like truly like connected to the characters. So we will see, but I'm really enjoying the book, truly. Oh wait, oh my god, before I go, Taylor Swift's new album came out today. It's Friday, October 3rd, which means Life of a Showgirl came out. So I know this is like a reading vlog, but I just need to talk about it. So this morning I woke up, and my time it came out at 6 a.m. and I woke up at 6:45, so I listened to it like pretty soon after it came out. Putting it on, sitting there like while I was making my breakfast and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like this. Like I was like, there's something wrong, there's something off about her voice or something. I don't really like love the music. And then I got to the last song, The Life of a Showgirl with Sabrina Carpenter, and I really like that song. That is definitely my favorite off the album. And then I re-listened to the album, and now I've listened to it 3 times, and now I actually do like it. So sometimes you just have to listen to an album more than once, but it's just never happened to me before. Like I've never not liked an album like from some of my favorite artists with the first listen, but now I do. But my favorite is still definitely The Life of a Showgirl, and actually also really like Wishlist. So I think those are really cute. My only critique of the album honestly is I do not like some of the phrases and like pop culture things she says. She says, "Did you girl boss too close to the sun?" As soon as I heard that, I was like, no, immediately no. Like no. So, and she's also saying like, "I'm not a bad bitch." It's giving millennial, and I know she's a millennial. Like she's 35 years old, turning 36 in December, but just please don't put that kind of references in your song. But it's okay. It's okay, I forgive you because you're Taylor Swift. But I just had to update you guys on that to know that after 3 listens, those are like my top songs. So, but now I'll let you guys go. Good morning, you guys. It is now the next day. Let's talk and let's see how much I read yesterday. So I started on page 546, like I said, and then I ended up on page 675. So I read 129 pages, so about the same amount that I did the day before, only 4 more pages. But today we were supposed to go to the zoo, but the weather is horrible. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's like storming outside and it's raining, and we were like, we don't really want to walk around like outside in this weather because we're probably gonna get like soaked. So instead we're just going to be like around here at the little like vacation home, maybe go out to like a store or something like that. But I'll probably have more time to read than I thought, but at the same time I don't know, because it gets kind of crazy in there with 7 people, or 2 of them are kids who are 4 years and younger. Right now it's just like early morning and I'm about to go in to the main house to get breakfast because me and my parents are like staying in this like annex, like separated from the house, but it has its own bathroom. So I am gonna go in to get breakfast now, and then obviously I will keep you guys updated when I continue to read this book. Good morning, you guys. It is the last morning here in like the vacation home, and today we're going to the zoo. But before we do all of that, I wanted to talk about the books because the book because last night, as you could probably see, I got to part 3, which is the final part, and I have like 160 pages left. Terrified. Like yesterday I felt sick to my stomach by the end of part 2. If you want to read this book, read part 2, then go back and read the prologue, and also read like the last like 2 pages before part 2 started, because it will just make your stomach drop even more. Like the realizations you have, I literally can't even, like the foreshadowing, the parallels, I don't know, guys. I think this is going to be a 5-star. Like something crazy has to happen in the last 160 pages for me to not make this a 5-star, because I am obsessed. And I'm going to feel so hollow and empty when I finish this book, because I really don't want to finish it. Like, it's so good. And I think I mentioned in the beginning, like, this is like based off of the fanfiction Manacled. Like, it's the same writer. And now I'm like, do I like read Manacled after, just like to feel something? Yeah, because I'm not ready to say goodbye. Like, I really am not. Like, I can't even explain what it is that makes it so good, because there's nothing like crazy in the book. I've never read a book like this before, like ever. I've never read about like necromancy, and I think it's a unique story. I'm obsessed. I really am, and I really like it. There are like a lot of like gory details and really graphic descriptions about like mangled body parts and stuff, because they are literally in a war and people get like bombed, and she works in a hospital. Just like mind that if you ever want to read this book. Just know that it is really graphic in details with certain things. Like, it's not a romantasy, like it's not a fairy tale romance or anything like that. Like, it is hard and real and really dark. So, but I obviously need to talk about how many pages I read yesterday. Okay, so I started on page 675 and I ended up on page 857. I read 182 pages yesterday, so a lot more than the other 2 days, and I wasn't really planning to do that, but it was just so good. And then I got to like a chapter and I was like, okay, just one more chapter, and then I looked through it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the chapter. Like that was the last chapter before part 3, and it was like over 20 pages long, just that one chapter. So I had to do it. Like I couldn't go to bed knowing that I had one chapter. But now I have like 160 pages, so I do plan to finish it today. I have a 2-hour drive home after the zoo, and then also just in the evening. I'm really scared, and I'm also scared of reading in the car because I'm like, what if I like start crying or something crazy happens? And my parents are just like in the car, and I'm like, don't mind me in the back of the car, like just sobbing over this book. Like I don't know if I'll cry until the end. I don't know. I have no idea where part 3 is going to go, honestly. Like I genuinely don't know. I have 25 pages left, so let's finish this book. Hello guys, it is the next day, and of course we need to talk about the book, and we need to talk about how many pages I read. So last night I finished Alchemized, so let's talk about it. Like I said in like the last clip where I talked, I was like, this is going to be a 5-star, something crazy has to happen for me to not rate it 5. Well, I ended up not rating it 5 stars, and I'm actually like really upset about that. When I finished it, I could just tell like I didn't feel like it was a 5-star anymore, because the last like 50-60 pages I was just so bored, kind of. It just felt like a long epilogue, and it didn't end in a satisfying way to me. And obviously like I understand like the last sentence of the book and stuff is supposed to be powerful and impactful, and obviously it's not the way I wanted it to go, but I think it just I still just like didn't like the ending. It could have still ended in the same way with the same sentence and all of that, but be different in that context, as it just like after reading 1,000 pages, it just kind of felt very unsatisfying to me. And I've seen so many people, you know, like cry and they feel devastated like by the end, and I haven't cried a single time reading this book. Like yes, there are so many things that I've like highlighted and moments where I'm like, wow, like this is impactful, like this is just like, oh my gosh, like I feel sick to my stomach and all of these things, but I didn't cry a single time, and I really thought I would. I thought this book was going to be like emotionally devastating. It just wasn't to me, so I don't know. But I do rate it like a 4.5, 4.75, because it was like when I was like 850 pages in, I was like, this is a 5-star read, so it is really good still. I just wasn't satisfied with the ending, so it doesn't feel like a 5-star read to me, but it was still so good, and I do recommend this book. I actually went and like read the last chapter from Manacle just to see, and it is like the exact same, like the conversations, even the description stuff are the exact same. They just changed out the names, but I still really liked it. And obviously I finished the book, so I read the last, so by finishing the book I read 167 pages yesterday, so a good in between what my lowest and my highest have been so far. So we completed day 4 of this reading log of seeing how many pages I can read. So I think I calculated, and in total right now I've read 603 pages. But as you could see in my last clips, I started a new book. I started Never Lie by Frida McFadden because this was on my fall TBR, and it was actually also on my October TBR in general. I thought what more perfect, and this book is really short. If you could see that I recorded like the Kindle version, is not even 300 pages long, and I've only read for like an hour, and I'm already 23% through the book. Like it said it takes like 3.5 hours from now to finish this book, so maybe I'll finish it tonight. I don't know. I do have to go to work here in a moment. I have to leave actually in 10 minutes to go to work, and then I'll be back home tonight and I have to do some homework and stuff, but nonetheless I'll definitely finish it tomorrow if I don't finish it today. It feels so refreshing to read a short book because you know, when I read Alchemized on my Kindle, like I would read for so long and the percentages just snailed by. You know, I could read for an hour and I would be like 3% through the book. Whereas now, like an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, I am literally almost 25% through the book because it's so short and it feels so refreshing. But anyways, let's talk about like what the actual book is about. So we have two POVs, one that is before, we don't know exactly when that before is, it doesn't say how many years ago it was, and then we have the present. So in the present we have this couple who are going to look at a house. They just recently got married and now they're looking for this house, and that couple like story is told from the point of view of the wife, who is Trisha, and they go to the house and it's really beautiful and big and all of that, but a snowstorm is coming in, their car ends up getting stuck and they go into the house and their realtor isn't there, but the house is full of dust, and they realize that that is the house this therapist who disappeared 3 years ago, which is the other POV we get, which is from Adrienne, I don't really know how to say her name, but her point of view is the before, that I don't know how many years is before, but she is a therapist and she disappeared, and she's also an author and she used to live in that house. And from her point of view, we're basically just like seeing her finishing up her latest book, which is the book that came out just before she disappeared. And that's like mostly it. We haven't seen too much from her. Most of the book so far has been from the present time, Trisha, who is so afraid of being in this house because she's scared there's someone there. And it's just like full of dust, this old house. And it just, I can't even imagine like how eerie it would be. It's like in the middle of nowhere. There's no service. They're snowed in, and it's just scary to be there, even though she's not alone. She's with her husband, and I'm only 23%. Like I'm literally like, I feel like scared and eerie, and I'm trying to guess. I'm like, oh, I have this, like, and I do have a theory in mind that could possibly be something, because I have heard people say that this book is kind of predictable, especially if you've read her books before or just like read thrillers in general. And I've read a lot of Frida McFadden books and thrillers. Maybe my guess is correct, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be disappointed because I still have no idea like how that would go around and be, and like how it's going to happen. It's just my guess. So far I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's just going to be a quick, easy read. And I think thrillers are perfect for the fall, and especially like the spooky vibes, and it is October, so it is obviously like spooky season. So that is the update for right now, and I am gonna go to work now and then I'll read tonight. So I'll see you guys then. I'm getting the chills. I'm scared. Oh my God. I'm scared. What? Hello guys, if you couldn't tell, it's raining so bad I had to put on my pajama pants again because the pants that I wore are soaked. Like I could wring like water out of them. I will say, when I started biking it was not raining near as much, and then on my way home it just started pouring raining. I'm so thankful. If you saw my jacket that I was wearing, I actually bought that during our little weekend getaway. I bought it on Saturday because I've been needing a raincoat for like years now, and I just never have like done it because it's not something I want to spend my money on. But then we were at the store and it was really cheap, and then I bought it. But anyways, I wanted to read Mate, and I looked today at the bookstore as soon as it opened, and I've checked multiple times since it opened. You know, it'll say how many stores has it in store, and that can change throughout the day, and I kept checking and it said 0. Not just in my city, it said 0 across the whole country. So apparently none of the bookstores got it today, even though it came out today. So then I was like, you know what, maybe to spice this video up, we'll do 3 different genres. So we read the fantasy Alchemized, then we read a thriller, Never Lie. Oh wait, I never even talked about it. I finished Never Lie. Okay, let me get my Kindle. Okay, the way I just completely disregarded the fact that I finished this, yes, I did read the entire thing yesterday, just like I said that I might would. And I did. I ended up doing it. This took like 5 hours to read. It was really not that bad, but it's also only 300 pages. I couldn't really figure out like what amount of pages I wanted to say for this book, because the Kindle edition is like a different number of pages compared to like a paperback. But I looked at the paperback at the bookstore today and it was like around the same amount. So we're just gonna go with what the Kindle says, which is 292 pages that I read yesterday. From start to finish of this book, that is definitely the most amount of pages that we read. This is obviously also way easier to read compared to Alchemized, which is like a really like hard and complex fantasy, and just fantasy in general is also a lot harder to read compared to especially like a thriller. And Freida McFadden writes really like easily. It's really fast-paced to read her books, and the chapters are so short as well, so you just keep going. Other than the pages, let's talk about the book. So originally, like right when I finished it, I was like, oh, a 4-star, because as you could maybe see, like I was gasping because I did not guess the plot twist whatsoever. Even though I had said yesterday, I was like, oh, I've been told like this has kind of an easy to guess plot, and I'm like, if you guess what the twist is, how? Like honestly, how? Because when it came, I was jaw on the floor in shock. And then I texted my friend who had also read the book, and she was like, I gave it 2 stars, and then she told me why, and I was like, wait, you're actually so correct. So then I changed it, so now I'm like between a 3 and a 3.5. I did put 3.5 on my Goodreads, like just in the little comment, but I don't know if it's maybe just a 3. I think it was just like the high of finishing it so fast, and you're like, wow. And I wasn't bored, it was fast paced, and I didn't guess the twist. So then I was like, okay, that to me is kind of a good thriller. But then when my friend told the things, and I can't really tell you what it is because it would literally spoil the book, the reason why, it isn't as great. Like there are just like plot holes and things that don't actually like make sense when you think about it after you know what you know. Yeah, I had to put the rating down. But it's not a bad book, and I would still recommend it if you want a really fast-paced thriller that you could read in one day. If you're ever in a slump, you should definitely read this. Now I can go back to my tangent that I was talking about in the beginning. How I was saying that I wanted to read Mate, but then I decided like, let's spice this up with doing 3 different genres. So we did the fantasy, the thriller, then I looked at my fall TBR, and especially like my October TBR. I do have a romance on there, and I do have it on my Kindle, but then I was like, I kind of just am really in the mood to read a physical book for some reason. But it was raining, but I looked at the bookstore and they did have it. Let's hope that it dried. I wrapped it up in this, and then I put it in my pocket. It fit in my cup. It fit in my pocket, and I think it's dry because the back feels completely dry. But I bought If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia, and I had to own the physical copy because the cover is so freaking cute, and just it's giving fall. I mean, I think it is supposed to be giving fall. Like it's literally like orange leaves. Oh, I had to own it because my Kindle version had a different cover. I don't think I'm going to finish it in this video because it is almost 500 pages long. We'll see how much I can read today. The only plans I have today is that I have a Pilates class at 5 p.m. with my friend. The rest of the time I can read, and I'm so excited. everyone. It is the last day of this video actually, and it is 8:30 p.m. because I haven't had time to read until now. But let me just update you guys about how many pages I read yesterday, because obviously I started this book and I ended up reading 186 pages of this book, which I didn't really expect to, but it's so fast paced and so easy to read, so the pages just fly by compared to like Alchemized. And it is so cute. Like, I haven't gotten any of my reactions on camera yet, but I need to try and like get some, because I love looking back on like my reactions to books, and I keep just smiling and giggling and like they're so cute. I can't even. And like now I'm a little bit further in. I am on page 222 so far. Not halfway yet, but getting there soon. And I think I'll get about halfway today, possibly. But let me just like explain what the book is about. Basically, we have our two main characters. It is dual point of view between Michelle and Cliff. Cliff lives in this small town and he's a baker. He has 2 children. He was a teen dad, so he has a teenage daughter, and then he also has a younger daughter, but he is of course single. And he lives next to this inn which Michelle's mother used to run, but she unfortunately passed away. So now Michelle is taking over the inn, but just for a few months until her sister graduates so that her sister can take over the inn. So it's kind of like also in that aspect that there's a limited time frame, which I always don't really like in books, because it's like, oh, you don't want to get together, you don't want to fall for each other because one of you had to leave. And I think that's always kind of annoying in books, but they don't mention it actually so far. It's more annoying in books where they mention it all the time, but so far they don't really mention it, so it's okay. But yeah, obviously, like I said, she takes over the inn and she lives right next door, so they start becoming friends, and he helps her to be nicer. Like, she's kind of standoffish and cold. She doesn't really like small talk, which is literally me. I am so bad at small talk because I'm so just awkward. So she comes off kind of like just cold toward the guests who are at this like bed and breakfast. So she gets his help, because for once, like, I feel like always in small town books or stuff like that, it's a grumpy guy, but he's not. He's like a golden retriever, happy, charming guy who jokes and just does dad jokes, and oh, I love it. I love it so much. So I'm really enjoying this book. It takes place in 1997, which I definitely didn't know that this book takes place in, like, not old time, but like it was like, what, almost 30 years ago. So I think that's kind of a cute little extra thing, like, oh, like going to the video store and listening to music on a Walkman and stuff. And this book is definitely giving, like, thinking of like the Gilmore Girls town, like Stars Hollow, because they have a town gazebo and they decorate for fall and for Halloween and stuff. And it's just the perfect fall book because it literally takes place like September, October, I assume November, and possibly December. And like right now it's close to Halloween, and just the perfect fall read, literally. Like, and I just can't get over the cover. Like, it's just so adorable. But I'm just going to continue to read for probably the rest of the night until I go to bed, I think. We'll see, but that's my plan. So yeah, last night of reading for this vlog, and then tomorrow I'll obviously tell you how many pages I read tonight, and then I'll wrap up the video. So yay! That makes me sad. What? Alright guys, we have made it to the final day, which technically was yesterday, but we've made it to the final page count of how many pages I read yesterday of this book. I read 105 pages, which means I'm now on page 291. I am a bit over halfway, so that is very exciting. And obviously I can't like rate it, but I think it's going to be like a 4-star book. I really enjoy it. I think it's just the perfect rom-com. It's so funny. It's like a movie in my head, and I could totally picture it like being a movie. It's just so like feel good, cute. Like I love it. I love the small town aspect. I love the fall aspect, like Halloween and all those things. And I really enjoy it. I think it's such a perfect fall read. And you should definitely put this on your fall TBR if you don't have it already. But enough said about that. Let me just grab this. So obviously we have these 2 books and my Kindle, just to show the final little thing with the Kindle. Let's check the total page count for this week. I read 1,186 pages this week, which is kind of crazy. There's not a single day where I read under 100 pages. I have nothing else to add to that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video, so I hope you liked watching it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!